Hi everyone. Welcome to In the Money Options Trading and Education. Today I'm coming to you with my real voice. Since I'll be talking about my journey as a trader, I felt it was a good time to change things up a bit and make this video more personal. I want to share my evolution as a trader. Everyone has their own path, and when it comes to trading, everyone must learn from pain and from their mistakes. The difference between traders and investors is time. As traders, we want to profit over the short term, but the randomness of the market over short time frames means everyone will at some point feel pain. Sadly, for many traders, the mistakes can cost them their entire portfolio and can discourage them from ever participating in the markets again. Hopefully, my journey will be useful for someone out there who is currently struggling to grow their account and is considering throwing in the towel altogether from trading. My trading career started about 5 years ago during the 2017 Bitcoin run-up to $19,000. Trading was glamorized on social media by millennials who got into Bitcoin early and could retire on their crypto profits. There was a lot of FOMO, fear of missing out there, and it was a palpable feeling if you were late to the Bitcoin party and late to the Lambos that came with it. I knew I was too late for Bitcoin at that time, but it was intriguing to see that even after the peak in December of 2017, the altcoin market did not peak yet. It felt like an opportunity to exploit the recent crypto hype. So I wired some money to Binance and found a crypto trading bot online called Profit Trailer, which still exists today. Essentially, this trading bot would use technical analysis to trade on your behalf. It was flexible in that the user could define the indicators that they wanted to use based on moving averages, oscillators, you name it. In my case, I would use Profit Trailer to identify oversold coins that were likely to go higher in the short term. You could choose whether to trade in Bitcoin pairs or dollar tether pairs, and I chose the latter because I was very concerned about Bitcoin holding onto its value. My portfolio grew quite significantly using Profit Trailer, and I was sitting at a 100% profit after a few months of using the tool. It started to feel like maybe Lambos were in my future. That's usually the first inclination that a disaster is coming. I started noticing that some trades would turn into so-called bags, where the bot would take a position and the market would move against me. The bot was primed to double down and add to the losing position to increase the odds of getting back to the break-even price. This worked for a while, but suddenly the bags grew to the point where I had run out of capital to add to my losing position, and I was no longer able to average down. Then Bitcoin and every other coin entered the crypto winter of 2018, and I had to sadly close my position, having lost basically all the profits that I made using the bot. It was a very sad experience, but it taught me the value of risk management. It's ironic that I needed a lesson in risk management because I worked in that area in my day job and still continue to do so today. However, when it came to my own portfolio, I could not exercise proper judgment. I violated all the basic ideas of using stop losses and preserving capital. I was one of the lucky ones who did not lose his shirt in the crypto winter of 2018. I was able to pick up the pieces and move on, still holding onto a decent amount of capital. I then decided that I wanted to engage in asset classes less risky than crypto. At that time, it meant learning to trade for myself instead of using a bot, because I could not find any that were reasonably priced in the equities markets. Started noticing on YouTube that there were channels that were dedicated to day trading equities. Each channel specialized in different niches of equity trading. Some focused on trading penny stocks and small caps, others specialized in trading large caps and ETFs. And then there were others that focused on trading same-day options. It was around this time that I really started to study technical analysis, and I created parameters and rules that I would follow when taking the trade. However, I always struggled to pull the trigger on my own. I needed confirmation bias in the form of other traders to make an informed decision. I signed up to various trading chat groups to be able to follow what other traders were doing. I thought I could succeed by following others and then deploy the same strategies all on my own. All I needed, I thought, was to have good risk management rules in place, and that was it. But rules are only good if you follow them. I would enter a trade, and would be so fearful of loss that I would treat winners and losers very differently. I would let my losing trades run, which often meant having to realize a larger loss than my predefined stop loss after slippage from getting out on the bid price. On the flip side, I would take profits too early on my winning trades. Clearly, my psychology for trading was all messed up. If you take a smaller profit on your winners than your losers, well, you need a very high success rate to be a winning trader, and I simply wasn't that great at picking winning stocks. My punishment for bad trading was to reduce my share size and to cut myself off after a certain number of losses. It was around this time in early 2019 that I quit my previous job due to burnout and overall dissatisfaction with the job. I then took some day trading courses online to learn some of the common strategies employed by successful traders. I held on to the fantasy that I could start having some wins and then scale up my profits to the point where I would reach a livable income. Unless you already have a track record of success, I don't recommend following my example. When trading becomes your only source of income, you see it as a job, and then you feel entitled to profits for the hard work that you're putting into it. Otherwise, why am I even doing this? Having trading as my only income source reinforced the bad behaviors and put pressure on myself to turn profits. It was after I had consecutive days of hitting my max loss that I realized I had to change something. Clearly, I wasn't generating an income from day trading like I was used to for my job, and I felt like a failure for just not making this whole thing work. It was time to do some soul searching and to see if trading was right for me. If I took an objective view of this situation, what could I learn? Well, day trading is a coin flip. The price will go up or it'll go down, and hopefully you're on the right side of the trade. Successful traders will also use volume and depth to figure out price action and to figure out areas of support and resistance. However, even if you catch the right side of the move, it's still a mental struggle to figure out where to take profits. In those instances, it would almost be better to have a bot trading on your behalf to remove some of the emotions that come with trading. It was at this point in my trading career in about late 2019 that I realized that day trading really wasn't for me. If I wanted fancy cars and if I wanted to fly first class, then I would have to achieve that in ways other than from day trading. I would have to return to a normal job, which I finally did in 2020, and put to rest my dreams of trading for a living from anywhere in the world, at least for now. To make matters worse, the rest of the markets were actually having a banner year, and I felt like I was the only person who lost money in the stock market in 2019. It was then that I learned about options. Maybe I wasn't a bad trader, but I was just an emotional trader. If I could put the statistics in my favor, I could do better than a coin flip, and I could make money more often. This could rebuild my confidence and allow me to take steps to be the trader that I knew I could be. I also tried to cut out any noise at this time from what other traders were doing and saying, and I started to come up with my own ideas. I think ownership of your ideas is a very powerful thing because it forces you to take responsibility for your success as well as for your failure, and not rest it on others. I realized that with options, I could put parameters and rules into the trade decision at the onset of the trade, rather than figuring it out only once I was in the trade. Options also have weekly and monthly expirations, so I could take a trade from a position of clarity and let time work in my favor. At this point, however, my ego was bruised, and I assumed that this would just be another failed attempt, and I would somehow blow up my account once the markets moved against me. But it took one trade to realize that maybe I was approaching things the wrong way. I took my first covered call trade in early 2020, and I realized that this trade had a 75-80% chance of success, and fair enough, it worked for me. I had to be content with the smaller gains from selling options than what I was used to from day trading. The gains from selling options were basically about $100 per contract when market volatility was low, to perhaps $400 or $500 when volatility was high. But the main thing was I was able to see consistency while selling options, and I was able to slowly dig myself out of my hole. I wasn't a profitable trader for an entire year until 2020. 2020, if you recall, the markets collapsed due to COVID in the beginning of the year, and then recovered quite significantly. Once the markets collapsed in early 2020, I was able to sell options with huge premiums, and I was able to experience the feelings for the first time of outperforming the market. Due to the capital loss rules in the US, you could only apply $3,000 of previous losses in a given calendar year. So I was carrying my losses with me until even 2022. But the first profitable year in 2020 showed me that I could do well by sticking to these high probability trades, and I was determined to reverse all my previous losses from earlier in my career. 2021 was another excellent year for me, and a continuation of my success from 2020. But it was hard to decouple my success from the broader markets. The markets, if you recall, were in an aggressive bull run in 2020, the second half of 2020 into 2021. So how much of my success was actually due to my skill as a trader? Well, the first test came in 2022 when the market started showing signs of weakness. I quickly observed at that time that shorter term positive theta strategies would allow me to collect profit before the markets would turn lower again. Each rally in 2022 turned out to be a bear rally, which gave way to more losses. But I was able to give my trades just enough room to turn a profit and to miss out on the further downside that would take place. I would occasionally get stuck in some trades, but I was able to attack them from a position of clarity and not make any haste decisions. It was also during the calendar year of 2022 that I erased all my capital losses from previous years. And officially, according to the taxman, I'm a winning trader. But more importantly, to myself, I'm a winning trader. And I have the confidence of several years of success to feel this way. As of 2023, I'm now managing a sizable portfolio, and I've been able to perform well so far this year, even despite the high interest rate environment that we find ourselves. So I tell this story not to boast or to suggest that I'm a great stock picker. In fact, it's just the opposite. I want people to know that trading is difficult, but it's a trial and error process. It takes many failures to realize a strategy that works for your personality and risk tolerance. I use scanners to this day to find good stocks to look at, and then I deploy my option selling strategies, whether they be covered calls, cash secured puts, bull put spreads, bear call spreads, you name it. All of these strategies that I just mentioned are better than flipping a coin. There have been times when the market seems to crash and the correlation between stocks rises, and even all the trades that I'm in seem to fail at the same time. This is why I never put a significant amount of capital into any one position, and I believe it's very important to keep most of your money in index funds like SPY. I only trade with about 20% of my capital, and I try to always have cash left over in case better opportunities present itself. Only once over the last year did I allow my cash balance to fall below zero, and it wasn't for a very long time. I could have also sold some SPY to free up cash, but I didn't get anywhere near to that point of desperation. I've learned to control my emotions and let the tide of the markets pass me without fear and trepidation. Also important is that I deposit $1,000 a month into my trading account so that I can experience the effects of compound growth, and also so that my cash reserves can always keep growing. I want to share my journey as a trader on this channel, and I want to provide high quality educational material to be able to give traders the ability to action these trades and to be able to make better decisions. As I've said before, everything that I'm sharing is available on the internet for free, but I'm trying to present it in a way that makes sense to me as a trader and has worked for me over my trading career. So I hope this video has helped anyone out there who needed a pep talk. Remember, it's never too late to turn things around. I did it, and you can do it too. I wish you success in your journey as a trader, and I hope you will subscribe to this channel and leave a comment. Thank you for your time.